Welcome to The Explainer. All right, today we're going to travel over 10,000 light years away to a massive city of stars that was hiding a secret for 2 millennia. This is a true cosmic cold case, one that connects cutting-edge astronomy with ancient history. So yeah, let's get right into it. So our story starts right here with Messier 22. You might also know it as the Great Sagittarius Cluster. I mean, just look at this thing. It's one of the brightest globular clusters you can see from Earth, a sprawling metropolis of 500,000 stars. And it's already special, right? It's one of only 4 clusters like this that we know of that has a planetary nebula. This one's called JJC1. But, as we're about to find out, that's not even its most amazing secret. You see, for the longest time, the textbook idea of a globular cluster was that it's a simple, stellar population. The thinking was that all the stars inside were born at the exact same moment from the same huge cloud of gas. Basically, they were supposed to be these perfect, simple families of identical stellar twins.
But M22 isn't simple, not at all. When astronomers started to really look closely at its family of stars, that beautifully simple picture just completely shattered.
Okay, so to really get what's going on here, we need to talk about metallicity. Now, in astronomy, this doesn't just mean metals like iron or gold. It's a catch-all term for every element that's heavier than hydrogen and helium. The easiest way to think about it is like a star's unique chemical fingerprint. It tells you exactly what kind of stuff it was born from.
Now, if all the stars in M22 were actually twins, their iron abundance, that chemical fingerprint we just mentioned, should be pretty much identical. But just look at this data. The values here show a spread of over 0.4 decs. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but what it means is that the amount of iron varies by more than 2.5 times from one star to another. These are definitely not twins.
This chemical variety actually puts M22 into a very exclusive club, with absolute giants like Omega Centauri, the biggest, most massive globular cluster in our whole galaxy. This was a huge clue that M22 had a way more complex and messy history than anyone ever thought. But believe it or not, this chemical puzzle wasn't the only secret M22 was holding onto. There was an even older mystery, lurking right in the cluster's crowded, glittering center.
So, using this incredibly powerful instrument called MUSE on the Very Large Telescope, astronomers peered deep into this packed sea of stars. And they weren't just taking a simple picture. MUSE is what's called an integral field spectrograph. That means for every single pixel in the image, it's capturing an entire spectrum of light. You end up with this massive cube of data. It's pretty amazing.
So the big question is, what's actually hiding in that incredibly dense forest of starlight? Well, as researchers started sifting through that giant data cube, carefully filtering out the light from all the stars, they found something, a faint, totally unexpected signal.
And here it is. This is the moment of discovery. On the left, you see the overwhelming light from all those stars, just packed together. But on the right, after all of that starlight is meticulously subtracted from the data, this faint, ghostly nebula just appears. It's a tiny little cloud of ionized gas that was totally invisible before, hiding in plain sight the whole time.
Okay, so what is this thing? Astronomers did the math and calculated its mass, and as you can see, it is incredibly small, only about 1/10,000th the mass of our Sun. That is way, way too small to be a normal planetary nebula. But it is a perfect match for the amount of material that gets blasted out into space during a nova, a sudden, violent explosion on a star's surface. And this is where things get really wild. A modern astronomical discovery suddenly becomes an ancient historical investigation. We're about to connect a 21st century telescope with the night sky of the Roman Republic. The crucial clue came from the Book of Han, which is this ancient Chinese historical text. In it, they recorded the appearance of a mysterious guest star, which was their term for something like a nova or a supernova that just suddenly appeared in the sky in May of 48 BCE. This timeline really builds an incredible bridge across more than 2,000 years. Think about it. In 48 BCE, ancient astronomers spot a new star. Then you fast forward to 2019 and a tiny nebula, a nova remnant, is found right inside M22 in the exact same area of the sky. It's just unbelievable. Now, you might notice the positions don't line up perfectly. The ancient record puts the guest star about 4 degrees away from the star Lambda Sagittari, while M22 is more like 2.3 degrees away.
But you know what? That small difference is easily explained by the limits of doing astronomy with just your eyes 2,000 years ago. Given the circumstances, it's a remarkably close match. But here's the other big question. Could they even have seen it? This chart shows us that, yeah, they could have. Astronomers calculated that a typical nova happening in M22 would have peaked at an apparent magnitude of about 5.4. Now, that's pretty faint, but it's just bright enough to be visible to someone with sharp eyes under the dark, clear skies of the ancient world. All right, let's put all the pieces of this amazing cosmic detective story together and see the final picture that it paints. So let's just recap the evidence. First, we have the chemical anomaly. We learn that M22 is this super complex, unusual cluster. Second, we find the ghostly remnant, this faint little nebula that has the exact mass signature of a nova. And third, the historical record. The location of this nebula lines up with that ancient Chinese record of a guest star from over 2,000 years ago. The conclusion is just absolutely breathtaking. That faint wisp of gas, found by one of our most advanced telescopes, is the leftover ghost of a stellar explosion that was witnessed by human eyes in 48 BCE. That makes this one of the oldest confirmed cosmic events outside our solar system ever recorded in human history. It's just such a powerful connection between our modern technology and our ancient history, a story written across millennia. And, it just makes you wonder, what other ancient secrets are out there, written in the stars, just waiting for us to figure out how to read them?